happy World Baking Day to all of you all, from SSCA to everybody out there. Now, because it's World Baking Day, we decided let's bake something amazing, but something that gets baked in every household in India specifically. I think we eat it in all our restaurants, we go to all our cafes, our bistros, and we love to dive in for that. And might I also say, when it comes to the dessert, we do not stay back to start gorging on it. कोई रिश्ते नाते कुछ नहीं होता. When that comes in front, it's all that is about it. And yes, you guessed it right. It's the most amazing and the best brownies. Be it a cold winter night, be it a hot summer day, but a brownie can always put a smile on your face. Am I not right on that? So let's go about it. And I want to start that by bringing in Chef Pankaj. So Chef Pankaj, welcome to the online and the live baking session. And first of all, happy World Baking Day to you.
Wish you the same.
Yes, and so Chef Pankaj is gonna start baking, and he's gonna run us through. Already, we have already posted some list of equipment that are required along with some ingredients. Get your pens and papers ready. Let's start jotting some good important points. And also, I think Chef Pankaj would you like to divulge a little bit of tips and tricks for all our bakers sitting at home.
Pay attention.
Yes, I think it's time. So guys, let's go. Chef Pankaj, over to you.
Thank you, Chef. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to SSCA and happy World Baking Day. Let's get started. I would just like to run down with some equipments. All right. So just pay attention. This is an oven thermometer, which you can try and get it so that you get to know your oven temperatures, if they are right or wrong, or if they are shooting up somewhere. Some spatulas where we'll be kneading it while we are mixing it up, a little knife, okay, a wooden spoon, a palette knife, a whisk, and a knife to after cutter to cut the brownies. All right. So let's check the ingredients. Please get your pen and paper, and the pen which is writing, okay, not a dummy one. So here we go with our ingredients. All right. So what all do we have? So first and most, we have eggs. We have sugar. This is a castor sugar. We have butter, chocolate, refined flour, salt, baking soda, and cocoa powder. Right? So these are the ingredients what we'll be using to make a brownie. All right. So let's get down to the quantities of each individual. Are we ready? Yes? All right, let's go. So first we go with the eggs. So these are the whole eggs, okay, which are being beaten up earlier. So this becomes 60 grams, 60. Okay. Then we have castor sugar, which becomes 100 grams. Then we have dark chocolate, which becomes 18 grams. Okay. Butter, 31 grams. Refined flour, 45 grams. Cocoa powder, 20 grams. Salt, 1 gram. And baking soda, 1 gram. Okay. So why there is a salt? It's an enhancer. Why there is a baking soda? Just to give a lift. Why there is a cocoa powder? To give the richness. Why there is a refined flour? To bind. Why there is butter? To give a nice flavor and taste. Why there is chocolate? To again get it more beautiful flavors. Why sugar? Because to give a little more sweetness and a little rice. Why egg? Which will combine and which will give you a beautiful rice. All right. So can we start? Let's go. So how do we start? First thing first. A white, a sieve, a bowl to sieve the dry ingredients, which needs to combine. Which are the two dry ingredients? One, refined flour. Second, cocoa powder. All right. So 1, 2.
Chef, we have a question. Can we use normal sugar?
Yes, you can. You can use normal sugar. You can use powdered sugar also. You can use icing sugar also. Not a problem. Depending upon what is available at your place, which is quick and easy, no shopping required, you can go for that. All right. Okay. See how beautiful it looks, right? So is it got combined? No, right? We have to combine it. Simple. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So whenever you're sieving cocoa powder and refined flour, it's not a one-time job. You have to sieve it twice. Okay, now you see there are a lot of lumps. That's why you need a spatula. See, step in now. Not at all. So this is one of the quickest recipe. What you can do if you are feeling a little down, or if you want to, bake something quick at your place. So this is going to be one of the quickest recipe.
Chef, could you also please repeat the ingredients once more for all our viewers?
Sure. So it's egg, castor sugar, butter, dark chocolate, refined flour, cocoa powder, salt, baking soda.
Guys, we will send you all the recipes once the live session is over as well. Kindly DM us on our SSCA page.
All right. So if you see very closely, the cocoa powder is on the surface and the refined flour is at the bottom, right? So you can give a quick dry mix, or which I personally prefer is sieving it back. Okay. So whenever there is a refined flour and cocoa powder, you should always sieve it twice.
Wow, that's a big bowl there.
Another pro tip: always try and use a sieve which have a very fine mesh, so that what happens, all the ingredients, they kind of blend well and they don't separate, so you can just understand that. But please don't use a tea strainer, otherwise the quickest recipe will become a longest recipe.
Oh, that's well said. So Chef, why are we sieving it twice? I mean, they're just elongating the process, isn't it?
To be very honest, see, the cocoa powder is going to be always heavier than the refined flour because of the density. Okay, so we have to blend it. It should not stand out. If it stands out, that means it's just going to disturb your recipe further. Okay, so be patient.
Patience doesn't come that easy, guys.
All right, now let me show you the difference. See, okay, a dry mix. Let the spatula be there because we'll be building it down.
Chef, why don't you just clean at the end? Why are you doing that right away?
It's a learning which we have learned in the culinary school. It's always clean as you go. Okay, so you don't pile up too many things. You don't have too many things, in the sink, and then afterwards you will be too tired to clean, and then things go a little haywire. All right. Okay.
So clean as you go, guys. I think that's the motto that I'm gonna update as my status now, right?
All right. Don't worry. I'm going to operate, and I don't have any experience for that.
Oh my God, guys, things are getting really serious now. He's putting on his gloves.
Okay. Now, second tip: you always have to grease and line the tray. Okay. So we're going to take a butter paper. This is not a parchment paper. This is a butter paper, and this is what we're going to use to bake our brownies. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grease it up. For greasing, you can use either butter, oil. These two are the safest option. Please do not use ghee to grease it because it's going to leave a flavor which will come down to your brownie, which is not accepted. Can I do this way before and keep? You can do that. Okay.
Chef, is this important? And what is the difference between lining and greasing?
Okay, greasing is just this. Lining is this because this recipe is a little rich. Okay, so when you're trying to demold, you should not have an oops moment. Okay, you should not be like, oh, my brownie is breaking. So just to be on the safer side, whatever you bake comes out together. That's all. Okay. Cool.
Wow, that looks good. Nicely greased.
And again, please do not grease it too much because too much grease is gonna spoil the brownie because there is a lot of butter inside the recipe. Now, no, just place it. Take a scissor. Cut it from all the four corners. All right.
Chef Shrishti has asked us, what is the difference between butter paper and parchment paper, and which one are we using today?
We are using butter paper. Okay. The difference between a butter paper and a parchment paper is the wax. Okay. So parchment paper, which are generally try and use for macaroons and high-end products, for this, a butter paper will work just fine. Okay. Now see, we have cut.
Oh.
Squeezing.
Guys, do you see there are no wrinkles on the side?
Cuts. They become like an overlap from where the pattern is ooze out. Simple.
It's really simple, Chef.
Okay. Make sure there are no wrinkles at the base. Otherwise, it will be like this. Your brownie will have bumps. Okay. Now, just like an overprotective chef about the product, just gonna grease it again a little, just to make sure my brownie comes out as possible. Make sure you grease the sides also, because that's where the brownie might get stuck.
Wow. Chef Alfie has asked us, can we dust our pan with flour or cocoa powder instead of using lining with butter paper?
See, again, flour is going to dry out in the process because there is a lot of butter in your recipe that might go at the base, and it will get to the flour. The flour will start getting crispier at the base. Okay. Cocoa powder. You're already adding a cocoa powder into your recipe. Why you need to add another extra cocoa powder in your recipe? It might not go into your favor. Okay, or it might not go with the recipe. So the safest thing, butter paper or parchment paper. It's not going to produce an extra flavor. It's not going to produce extra layer, kind of a crispiness or something. We're just going to demold it, remove the paper. A brownie is ready to go. Cool. All right. So now let's break down the recipe into a process now. Okay, how do we get the ingredients together? Okay, now what do we have balance with? Egg, sugar. So these both have to get combined together so that we try and incorporate everything there and lift up a brownie a little, not like a cake. All right. Okay. Then we're going to mix the butter and the chocolate together just so that they marry each other very well. Okay. That's the reason.
So there are good marriages, aren't there?
And the salt is going to be, I'm not going to be a salt babe. All right. I'm not going to be that. I'm just going to mix it with the cocoa powder afterwards so that it pulls out the flavor of chocolate, cocoa powder, refined flour, butter, eggs. Soda, it's just to make it a little dry, sizzle a little. Okay, cool. So let's start. The first thing again, take a mixing bowl, a clean mixing bowl.
Chef Shrishti has asked us if she uses self-raising flour, can I skip the baking soda?
Yes, you can. You can. Not a problem.
Shrishti, there you go.
Self-raising flour, a little dicey, but you can go ahead with it. Okay. Eggs, all at once. Spatula. scrape it off. Make sure you take maximum of it, okay? Because this is money.
There's lots of moolah going in there.
Okay, then sugar. Do not try and add the entire sugar. Okay, if you try and add the entire sugar, the eggs is gonna go more flat. Okay, so what you have to do ideally, take a nice whisk, beat it up. If you want to use a hand blender, you can use a hand blender, but I always prefer to use a whisk.
Wow, that's some fast action, chef.
So if you see that there are bubbles, what are these? These are all real bubbles, which we are trying to trap them. Okay, now you see that it is foamed up a little. We're gonna add a little batch of sugar. Little. And now slowly mix it. Make sure when you're using a hand blender also do not start it on a very high speed, because when you start it on the high speed, everything will be splashed on the sides of the vessel and it will not get mixed. Okay. So if you see the way I'm mixing, 1, 2, 3 sides, 1, 2, 3 sides. So your sides also start getting clean, and whatever sugar is there on the side, that also starts coming into the mixture. Make sure you don't beat it till all the sugar is dissolved. Okay, it should be just a little bit of grains which are there, a little bit of coarseness. Okay. Now, the reason of keeping a table wipe or a wonder wipe or a duster or a kitchen towel is just so that my vessel doesn't keep moving here and there. Okay, and I also don't move here and there. So it stays nice and sturdy, and it's easy for me to mix it up. Now you can see the color is changing, okay, of the mixture. And now I'm going to add the last batch of sugar. Till the time you're doing this, you can have an extra hand going at your house. So what you can do is you can tell somebody to melt the chocolate, okay, in a microwave, okay. Make sure you melt it in a microwave just for 30 seconds, okay? Because chocolate has a tendency to burn out if you try and microwave it too much, okay? Can we melt the chocolate and keep it? You can do that, but if chocolate sets, then again you have to melt. It's better whenever you start the process, that time you can get it done. See.
Wow, that looks beautiful. Chef, could you do that for us again? Wow.
Okay, 1, 2, 3 sides. So in this process, what happens? We clean the sides of the vessels. Okay. First, whenever you are whipping, so this is called whipping, okay, or whisking. Whenever you're doing that, make sure you do it in one direction only. You don't do back and forth, okay, like this and like this. Because what happens right now, we are trying to incorporate air. If you go the other way direction, whatever air you have incorporated, all will go off, and there are chances your brownie will collapse. Pro tip, there is baking soda, right? So that's the reason I have not sealed it with the flour. Most of the dry ingredients generally get sealed with the flour. But now I'm going to add the flour to this first. So there are chances soda bicarb, because of weak acid, it will start reacting over here. The reaction of soda bicarb, I want it in the oven, not over here. Okay, so that's the last thing which I'll add it to the flour and then mix it over here. Okay, so by the time I finish making the batter, pouring it, the reaction will start and it's going to go quickly in the preheated oven. So just remember that. If you're trying to hear that little resistance when I'm trying to whisk it up and you hear that kind of a sound, that is your sugar, which is still there, and not completely dissolved. See, the consistency of that ribbon also is changing as I'm trying to incorporate it. Okay, is the chocolate melted? Answer is yes. Let's melt the butter. Please do not melt the butter and keep, because there are chances the milk solids present in the butter will settle down, and only thing what you will get is the fat. We need everything together. Okay, so don't melt the butter and keep it for a longer time. The chocolate is melted, melt the butter, we are ready to go.
Guys, give us 1 minute, we'll be back. There's a problem with our connection.
Okay. Next thing, we are waiting for the butter to get melted. Things what you don't need should not be there on your working station. So I don't need this. I'm gonna put it down. Okay, things what I need, I have placed it over here. Now you see the color. Okay. So now the cocoa powder is going to go in the egg mixture. The egg mixture doesn't go into the dry ingredient because there are chances it might get into lumps. Okay.
I'm so sorry, guys. There's a problem in our connection, so we're back live. So Chef, do you want to repeat from the time you finished whisking the eggs?
Yes. Okay. So what I was saying is whatever things you don't need, which is empty, should not be there on your table because it looks pretty cluttered. So what I have done, I have just kept the baking soda and the salt over here and the refined flour and the bowl. Cool. And see, this is the color of the egg and sugar, and see the consistency now. I can draw an 8 over here. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add up of our dry ingredient to the wet. We don't add wet to the dry because there are chances it might get into lumps. Okay, and we don't strain the batter. Spatula. Sprinkle it. Please do not dump it. At first, don't try and use maximum flour.
Chef, do we need to pour the egg gradually? Are you pouring it?
2 batches.
2 batches.
Okay, now see. Now, if you're using a hand blender also, please do not switch on the hand blender. Okay, because the RPM of the hand blender is quite fast. So there are chances your flour will splash all over. Okay, so just give a gentle mix. Elegance. All right. Do not mix it too much. Okay. Otherwise, it will start getting thick. It will start looking like it is going to be like a spider webby. Okay, which is not acceptable in the mixture. Right. Now, there is baking soda. Okay. This I'm going to add it to the flour right now. Okay. The reason I have already told you, but I'm going to tell you again. It's this might start reacting once it starts coming in contact with a liquid. Okay, ideally soda bicarb reacts with an acid. Okay, so I'm just going to add it to this. Just give it a quick dry mix. See, quick dry mix and back to the. Because my rest of the ingredients are already prepped. Again, very slowly.
Chef, have you already added the chocolate and the butter?
No. I'm going to add it now. See, if you add chocolate and butter first, okay, after adding the dry ingredient, your mixture is going to go again dry, right? So what we're going to do is to moisten this mixture, we're going to add the chocolate and the butter later, okay? So this is the chocolate, this is the butter, okay? It will loosen up the batter. It will give a batter a leeway of not drying off over here as well as in the oven. See, the mixture looks a little dry.
Chef, if we use baking powder instead of soda, can it be added anytime?
Yes, you can see it with refined flour and cocoa powder. You can do it.
Okay, there you go, Neil.
Butter goes into the chocolate. Give a mix. It will be looking like a ganache. Make sure you don't add the chocolate and then the butter. It's not going to get mixed properly, okay? Because there is already fat inside the recipe, which comes from the. See, it looks like a chocolate sauce.
Ooh, can I just have it like that? Please, Chef, a
You
little
can.
bit.
You can.
Guys, I
But
think,
it's for the recipe.
yes, I think he's not ready to give it, spare something for me right now.
You can look at it. So it looks nice and glossy. Goes inside the dish. Guys, it's chocolate. Please do not waste anything in the ramekin. You can enjoy the brownie, but don't do it. All right. Now just give a mix. It looks beautiful. Nice, rich.
Chef, I'll ask you one thing. Is
Yes.
licking the spatula after the batter is made and completed and gone for the baking, is that a crime? Is that a sin? Guys, there you have it. It's officially out there. Wow.
Okay, right? Now, very simple thing. Before it goes for baking, okay. Before it goes for baking, this is called tasting, okay? Not eating. Eating is this. Okay? It's just smooth, but I can still feel the grains of the sugar, okay? Which are gonna get dissolved due to the oven heat. They are very tiny, tiny, tiny. Okay? So yeah. Our mixture is ready.
Wow.
Now it's ready to go back to
Chef, why are we adding salt to a brownie? I mean, it's supposed to be sweet, then why salty?
As I earlier said, salt is a flavor enhancer. Okay. So when you add the salt in the end, it goes to every ingredient, it knocks the door of every ingredient and pulls it out it pulls out the flavors. Okay. Where we try and get to know what this spice is, what that spice is, what this masala is, what that masala is. And in baking, it pulls out the natural flavor from the chocolate, from the flour, and the other supporting ingredients. Okay, so the salt just at the end, and give a little mix. Okay, now get rid away of your whisk or the beater, and let's demold. Before that, always wait so that you get to know what is the batter weight and everything. So here my tray weight is 338 grams. Okay, the tray weight. Cool. So I'm just gonna zero it down and I'm gonna get rid of the whisk and introduce the spatula. Please not tap this mixture too much. Okay. Cool. Just give a good scrape from the sides. Now, pour it. Do not pour it from a height.
Wow, that looks like a chocolate lava right there.
Okay, dump all the mixture. So it shows me 243 grams. Okay. I'm not going to leave anything. Now it is 243 grams. Now, I'm going to take this out. This is done. The weight. Now you see, it looks like an amoeba or a chef hat. I think it looks like a chef hat. Okay. What we're going to do is, we're just going to level it up. Okay. Make sure you spread the mixture all over. Okay. Cool. Please do not tap or do anything with it. And now it's going to go for baking in a preheated oven, which is at 170 degrees Celsius for almost, say, 20 minutes. Okay. You need to constantly have an eye because brownie, if you try and bake it at a high temperature, there are chances it might get baked a little slightly more. So just keep an eye over there. Make sure when you try and take a skewer or a toothpick and try and insert it, it will come out a little gooey, that's fine. It's going to still be cooking, okay? So it's going to get baked properly at that particular time. But if it comes out dry, that means you have over baked that particular brownie. All right, cool.
Chef,
Let's
could you
get into the
repeat
oven.
it, please? We had some connection errors. As soon as you finish pouring the batter into the tray,
Okay.
what's the next step?
As soon as you finish, it should go in a preheated oven, which is at 170 degrees Celsius. Okay, around about 20 minutes. So when brownie tend to get baked, you need to really keep an eye over there so that it doesn't get overbaked. Okay, so how do we check whether it's getting overbaked or not? First is the smell. Okay, second, when you try and put a skewer or a toothpick and it comes out completely dry, that means it is overbaked. Okay, when you put a skewer, it comes out a little bit of gooiness or little batter to the toothpick or the tip of the toothpick is, that's where you think, yeah, it's going to get done due to the heat which is balanced inside the cake, or sorry, inside the brownie. Okay, now it's going to go for baking. Okay, now as instructed earlier, clean as you go till the time brownie is getting baked. Let's discuss a little bit about brownie. Yes? So do we have any questions?
Yes, Chef. Does whisking a batter and using cut and fold method give different results?
Exactly. Cut and fold is where you try and do this action, right? This action is meant to see if there is any dry ingredient. Especially we do it for all our genoas or sponge cakes. Okay? And when it's mixing, right now, we all did mixing. Okay, because we know that we have to just combine the wet ingredient with the dry ingredient. Okay, make sense? So
Thank
that
you
is
so
the
much.
difference.
Thank you so much, Chef. I got to hear about the brownie and all of that. But you know what, Chef? When I go to restaurants and when I go to cafes and bistros, everywhere we get a different kind of brownie. Either it's too gooey, either it's too fudgy, either it's too cakey. I mean, I don't get it. Which is the right kind of brownie?
Okay, ideally there are only two types of brownie: gooey or fudge. Cakey is not a brownie. Okay, let's understand what is brownie first. Okay, brownie is, or it is arrived from a cookie dough, right? Are cookies tall? No. Cookies are flat, short, definite shape, indefinite shape, right? Okay, so brownie is derived from them. So technically, brownie is a cookie, not a cake. Okay, right? So either it can be a gooey or it can be chewy. All right, it cannot be cake. So that's the reason, if you have seen, we have used the shortest tray, what is ebony. Okay, if I put the same batter in a small cake tin, it will rise like a cake. It will be served like a cake tin. There is no use of making it a brownie and selling it as a cake, right? So it should be nice and short. Okay, beautiful flavor, beautiful aroma onto your palate. Yes.
Chef Chitrakshi's been baking along with us. She says her batter is ready already also. So I think it's time to put it in the oven. Chef, now we put it at 170 in our ovens. So the oven that we're using is the Sinmag oven outside. And I'm guessing that's for commercial purposes. Now, when I'm at home, how do I know what is the right temperature and everything?
The best tool. Oven thermometer. The best tool. So whenever you bake it in domestic ovens, always go 20 degree less. So it's going to be 170, right? Over here. So you might go at 150, 145. It's perfectly fine. Slower you bake the brownie, better it's going to come. But please do not bake it at 100 degrees Celsius. It's just not going to work. Okay. So 140 to 145 in the domestic oven is just fine. So you can do that, or else if you're not confident about your ovens, this is the perfect tool what you can have. This just gets into the oven, it doesn't melt. But be careful now, it has a glass of it.
Where would I get this though?
Amazon, perfect. It's just one-stop shop.
Yes, very rightly said. So Chef, okay, now I'm getting really hungry. Guys, I wish you guys were here to smell how beautiful the bakery smells right now. But I think it's time to get it going. So, okay, so we've already baked a previous one batch previously, and because obviously the baking is going to take a long time, and we would just want to show you what it's going to start looking like after baking.
because it helped us to bake the brownie.
Chef, I see a lot of bubbles there.
So these are all the air bubbles which came up because of the steam, because there is butter, okay, which is going to get converted into steam. It's going to get pushed up, and that's it. And wherever it got chance, it just bursted out and it is gone.
Chef, it looks like it has a skin on the top, like something like a layer. I mean, is that what it's supposed to have?
Yes, that is going to give you an extra crunch in the brownie. Okay, which is, I personally believe, it's a little extra flavor. Okay, right? Plus, if you see that brownie on all the sides, it just shrunk. Right? This is going to happen a little. Okay, because once all the steam is going away from your product, it's just not go, it's just going to go down and settle. Okay, the reason being the flour, the egg, all this cannot take that much steam, so they just leave, and that's where it is settling. Okay,
Oh,
and if you see this, it's easy for me to lift up. That's why we have kept this column. Okay, you see this cut? That's the reason. I'll show you the tray.
Okay. Chef Alfia is also asking us, what if we bake the brownie at 180, and is that okay? And for how long should we bake it if we bake it at 180?
That's really high for a brownie. Okay, it's just not. As soon as the flour is going to set, the chocolate is still going to dance. Okay, the egg is set. Okay, but still the chocolate is in dancing mode. So they're just not going to come together. So bake it as slow as possible. It's just going to give you a good result. Okay, right? 180 is going to be too high for it. Okay.
Chef, what is the size of the tray that you're using currently?
Let's measure it.
That sounds great.
Let's measure it. So it is 30 centimeter by 26 centimeter.
Okay. There you go, Neil. It's 30 centimeter by 26 centimeter that we're currently using.
Perfect.
Thank you, Chef.
Okay, can I have another chopping blade, please?
Okay, guys, this is the big reveal. I'm getting excited, are you? I'm getting hungry too. Oh my God, it didn't stick at all.
Okay. Now see, is there any batter? No, right? That's why those four cut. Okay. Now try and release the butter paper a little.
So, Chef, should we wait for the brownie to cool down before we do this?
Yes. Brownie tastes best if you make it one day before. Okay. And the next day you serve it. Because that's where the entire flavors are gonna set. Okay. And it's just gonna give you that taste, texture, appearance, what you're looking for. Okay. The reason I've kept a palette knife so that I get a very clean. Okay, can you see?
So why did you wear gloves now?
It's cooked food, all right? There are higher chances of it getting contaminated, right? So it's better we work very carefully.
Hi Chitrakshi, welcome to the live video. Chitrakshi, we're unable to see you. Great. I'm guessing you can smell how the oven smells like. I mean, how the room smells like, rather. I think it's going to be a good lunch today. So Chef Chitrakshi has joined us live. She is in the process of baking the brownie right now. It's gone into the oven for baking.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is how your brownie will look. This is the base, right? We're going to cut it, place it, present it. That's where you're going to see the change. Now, the reason I'm trying to show you this is, see the difference. So this is where which was exposed or which was protected by a butter paper. Okay, I'll show you another thing. Yeah. Is the same thing over here? No. The reason being, this was exposed to dry heat. Right? Was there any butter paper on top? No. Cool. So this thing is going to give you a different flavor. This is going to give you a different flavor. All right? And see the color difference.
Wow, that's poles apart.
So let's cut. So now see, this brownie looks a rectangle. Can I serve this much to anybody? No, right? We need to divide them into good pieces which can be served. You can sandwich them. Okay? Peanut butter, Nutella, a nice Italian buttercream with a little bit of orange zest. You can sandwich or just plain ganache. Okay? If you want, you can spice up this brownie, the mixture. Okay? If you want, you can convert this into a cinnamon brownie by adding cinnamon powder in the refined flour and cocoa powder mixture. If you want to make give a hint of orange, you can zest an orange, little segments or the skin, the orange part of it, add it to the flour. It will give you a perfume, okay, and the flavor as well. All right. If you want to make hazelnut brownie, you can add little hazelnut flour, chopped hazelnut in the mix, okay. Or after baking, you can start hazelnuts over here, sandwich. Okay, what else? Can we make, oh, there is a season of mango. You can. We can make an ice cream, mango cream, put it, sandwich it, put it up, slice good mangoes, place them on top, serve it. People will love. All right. So let's get it. 1/2. This is for your kids. Okay. Cool. Wow. All right. You can cut them into fingers also. Okay. Let me show you what do I mean by when you say you can cut them into fingers. One, two, three. You can stand them. And so you can serve them like this also. Not a problem. So with one brownie, we can do different things.
Okay, my stomach's rumbling, guys. Now I think the smell is too good, and the way it looks on the plate looks phenomenal.
There we go.
And there you go, guys. That's a perfect brownie right there. I hope you enjoy the World Baking Day with this kind of brownie.
I'm the lucky one.
Oh my God, of course. That's the most important step, isn't it?
So as I said, chef always tastes, doesn't eat. Okay. Not bad. Bye bye guys. Adios. See you.
Okay, bye, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. For more further queries and information, please log into SSCA. Till that time, keep having brownies. Bye bye.